ती बनवण्यामध्ये सरांचं एक मोलाचं योगदान आहे. तर जास्त वेळ न घालवता मी सरांना आपले विचार मांडण्यासाठी आमंत्रित करतो. धन्यवाद.
नमस्कार. Bhasha, I am told it is English or Hindi or sometimes Marathi. So not necessarily English, it could be English or English also.
So we are bringing students from non-Marathi.
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking. Because what happened is that last 10 years, I am working in complete Marathi environment. And before that, 10 years before that, I was in complete English environment. So it is, but thank you very much for asking me. And somehow, MIT School of Government called me at least 4 or 5 times. And every time I gave date, and somehow or the other, either I had to go to Mumbai for our rally or something. So even yesterday when Raj Thackeray asked me that let us plan for our tour in Maharashtra, I immediately asked which date because I gave time for MIT to come here and again whether it's happening. So, but then I said no, this time I must go because I was very intrigued with basic school of the name School of Government. And I always thought whether it is School of Government or School of Governance. But I know and I think it is quite right that you are calling yourself as School of Government. And first time ever, I feel that I am meeting a kind of my peer group because, I am very new in politics. I spent nearly 3 decades in social sector, and after that I joined politics when I was around 49-50 years old. So actually you are a student of politics and I am also a student of politics. So I think it is, instead of giving a lecture, I thought that I could share what I received from this 2019 Maharashtra election mandate and how I see towards the result. Very interestingly in my social sector, when I was working with Oxfam in UK, in Oxfam, we used to have a kind of sabbatical. And after completing 5 years of work, we were supposed to work somewhere else than Oxfam for about a couple of months. When they asked me my choice, I opted for working in the back office of Labour Party in London. And that is the first time when I was a student, I was a part of a students' union movement in Pune. And ours was and I think everybody thinks that, but ours was also a very radical students' union and students' movement. I'm sure you would think what kind of ideology I had when I was a student. I was a Marxist, member of Marxist Students' Union. So from Marxism to MLS, so it's a very interesting story, but that is not the subject today. You see, every election is important and it gives direction. So every election gives you something different. But this election in 2019 Maharashtra Assembly is something extraordinarily different. I will compare this election to general election in India in 1967 and 2014. I'm sure, I need not elaborate on this, why I am saying this, because you are a student of politics. 1967, from that election, anti-Congressism started in India, roughly. And in 2014, another political, like Modi and the kind of campaign BJP had in 2014, it also started a different grammar, a different political grammar in India. So I will compare Maharashtra's election, today's election, 2019, of that significance. You see, every election has a message. And every election is a reflection of society. Every election, a reflection of society of that period. So let's see why. So what are the message from this 2019 election, and what is the reflection of what is happening in Maharashtra? I'm sure from today morning you must have had a lot of data, and data is important. But I would also like to share very quickly some of the very interesting figures which you might have gone through in the morning or throughout the day. You see, first characteristic of this election is that this time the voter turnout was low by about 3%. This is also very important. Second thing is that about 8 ministers of Devendra Fadnavis ministry, they lost election. Daughter of another minister, Eknath Khadse, lost the election. And 13 leaders who defected, not ministers, but of minister rank, who defected, lost the elections. So this is very important. Third very interesting thing is, this time, number of contenders are quite less than as compared to 2014. And this is very important when we will go further. In Maharashtra 2019 assembly elections, 127 political parties fought the election. 127 parties for 288 seats. I'm sure you must have gone through vote share of BJP around 25%, and all other three parties around 16% each. But that is not the right description, because BJP and Shiv Sena and Congress and NCP fought election in alliance. So therefore we should not. But if we compare seats contested and percentage of votes, then it is very interesting. The BJP got 44.5%. Shiv Sena got 38.3%. NCP got 38.3%, almost equal, and Congress got 32.7%. Very, very interesting electoral geography this time. Very interesting. One is that BJP is spread out all over the state, but it has lost significantly in Vidarbha. Congress, I'm not elaborating because you know all these things, and we will come to conclude. Congress underperformed in Mumbai. In Mumbai, I think this is very important, and I think it is very important because what is happening now, and what is the real reason of President's rule in Maharashtra is this. In Mumbai, BJP got 52.5% votes. Shiv Sena got 36, NCP got 31, and Congress 22%. So the Battle of Mumbai is another major characteristic of this election. Battle of Mumbai, like Battle of Plassey. Because first time ever, BJP, when they fought in each seat, they got 52.5% votes. And I think Shiv Sena is a little frightened about this. And they thought that if we let it go, then probably we will lose our control over Mumbai or something like that. So that, I think that's the reason why Shiv Sena is very concerned. So this is one major takeaway from this election. And for us also it is very important. Then another very interesting thing is that all the four major parties together got only 74.7% votes. That means local politics and local issues are important, or local combinations are important. That means 26% of voters opted for a party other than these four parties. Smaller parties together got 14% of votes. I think this is also another very significant thing. Because that means what I conclude from this is that people in Maharashtra are looking for some good alternative. They are looking for some good political alternative. Very interestingly, even independents got 10% of votes and 1% nota. My calculation is that both NCP and Congress cost minimum 20 seats due to Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi and MIM. Minimum 20. There are other interesting statistics around this is that wherever Bahujan Vikas Aghadi stood second, on all these seats, BJP or Shiv Sena won. So another very interesting message is that on all the seats where Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi stood second and got good number of votes, BJP and Shiv Sena won. I know that you are quite aware about this. So what is the takeaway? Because I would not be giving much, I will just give you some points and then let's discuss, because I am sure you must be having some questions. You see, I was and I am always a part of political campaign of our party. So we reflect once the elections are over, because we are inside it. So you must have a kind of a detached position, to understand what's happening. Currently, I actually think about it still, because still some micro details are coming, some statistics is still coming. So, but what is very important is that political topography will be different now. See, Maharashtra in 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000 and 2019 is different. So political topography is different. New formations are possible. So there is a good opening for opposition. So now we are gathering that Shiv Sena is having talks with Congress, NCP is having Congress with Congress, etc. This is what we see. Probably Shiv Sena must be having dialogue with BJP also separately. We don't know. So, but some different formation is possible in Maharashtra. One. Second important message is that nationalism is strong but not sufficient. Yes, nationalism appeal is there. It could win the election at general election level or parliament. But for the state, it is not sufficient. And the similar case is for Modi also. As a Modi appeal, what we say is that there is a limitation. In Indian history, in Indian political history, we can compare Modi with Jawaharlal Nehru also. In 1947, we got election, the first election in 1952, 57, 62. So 3 elections, Jawaharlal Nehru had a clean, but 1967, Congress faced serious resistance from regional parties from all over. So, probably, you see, each phenomenon, each living organism, every everything, even in politics, has its uh, specified time. I will not say what they say is that end of it or something like. But you know that this brand would last for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years. The first time after 2013, we realized that probably in Maharashtra, I'm talking from Maharashtra perspective, is that Modi appeal is probably has its own limitation. Third thing is that local players, we don't have time, but if we see further details in some constituencies, local players, local politics, local reality, and local arithmetic is very important. And it could, whatever happens at national level, whatever happens at state level, whatever happens at the coalition level or alliance, etc. If the local combination is something different or something positive, we could get the election. This is very interesting. And for the students of government, if you want to plan, campaign, etc., this is very important. And kind of micro planning of election campaign is very important, and it also played a lot of role. Fourth thing is, as usual, optics also play a very critical role. If you see the image of or different images of, like for example, if you remember ex chief minister saying "Me punha yin, me punha yin, me punha yin." Similarly, on that car, luckily, or I don't know, I mean, people say that Sharad Pawar is a very, he's a master player, but I don't think that whether he called rains to come on that, in particular in Satara. But that visual, that optics, 79-year-old politician is standing there campaigning in Satara. You know, those from Maharashtra knows that the value of Satara. But Satara is a historical capital of Maharashtra. So in the historical capital of Maharashtra, where Shivaji Maharaj's, legacy is there, luckily you get trains and people are not moving. And therefore, astute politician like Sharad Pawar responding with the same enthusiasm played a lot of, I think, when that happened, we were traveling. I was with Rasab Thakre. And when I got a mail on WhatsApp, I told him that I think probably this is I swear, I said this. There's no proof for me, but I said this is a turning point for this election. He said, why? Because he didn't know. He was reading something. He didn't know. So I said, no, this is very important. Please see. That is his standing tall. So that image changed a lot. So optics is very important. I can give you another example. In US, you must be knowing, because it must be in your curriculum. Because this is curriculum or in all over the world. Is that one election in one Senate election or somebody in US changed its course, because one shark attacked a woman on Miami Beach. Simple incident, nothing happened, no accident, nothing happened. But the whole music started saying that people are not safe in US. And that person lost a very simple, straightforward election only in 3 days. A very good example. I will tell you, there is a book by, I've never heard the name. He mentioned this as a case study. And after this, what happened? The next election was president election, and it had impact on president election also. So one optics, one simple thing. Another takeaway from this election is that you cannot win elections by only big slogans or major campaigns, events, or turncoating, or big shouting. I think BJP kind of in the later stage was very loud. मी पुन्हा येईन, मी पुन्हा येईन. And saying this legacy of power is over. I think people at some point, at some think, you see, I think what we see is that this extra reliance on campaign, so WhatsApp, social media, techno-savviness of our campaign believes that you can influence and you can take people anywhere with all these gadgets and all these campaign tricks. But I don't know about it, but you must be aware, because you're a student of it, is that this time Sharad Pawar had a very different strategy. And we also did discuss, because we were observing, because I am heading policy and strategy unit of MNS. He was organizing small meetings of small groups for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. 8 to 10 people for 10 minutes. He would ask 1 or 2 questions and he would connect with them. So I know that in Parbhani or somewhere he had about 30 small meetings in a day. So what happened is that message started rolling, and that played. So it is not necessary that you have a smart, big, technical team, but that is not sufficient. A human contact is also very important. And I think that's another very important message. Another takeaway for which I think is that BJP appointed a low-key chief minister earlier. You see, if you see Devendra Fadnavis before 2014, he's a low-key, soft voice, simple, straightforward. A low-key chief minister disconnected from dominant caste group. What they believed is that we are in Delhi, the whole campaign is there, so probably a chief minister from a minority